For over 20 years, this village in the northern state of Punjab was home to Sardar Jasveer Singh, his wife Sarabjit, and their 2 children. He subsisted as a wheat and cotton farmer, barely earning enough from his small patch of land to feed his family. But in 2015, their lives unraveled.
He committed suicide. With less than 1 hectare of land, we didn't have enough. We bought a tractor and faced losses with our crops. And he was depressed after that. We had also taken out a loan of almost 4,000 euros to clear previous loans.
The mounting burden of debt became too much for Jasveer, and he hung himself in one of the rooms in their house. His case is not unique. Debt plagues more than half of India's 90 million farming households, and collectively they owe banks and opportunistic moneylenders millions of euros. Since 1995, at least 300,000 farmers have killed themselves. And a majority of all those suicides were debt-related. Sarabjit struggles to make ends meet, especially with an ailing child. And she still has the loans to repay.
We somehow make ends meet by selling fodder and milk, but wives of farmers aren't supposed to go out to work.
Kiranjit Kaur lost her farmer father to suicide. Her organization provides support to women like Sarabjit and helps them claim compensation from the government.
ਆਪਾਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ 3 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਤਾਂ ਹਾਈਲਾਈਟ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਦੇ ਆ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਲੜਾਈ ਸਾਡੀ ਇੱਕ ਲੰਮੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲੜਾਈ ਲੜਨੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ.
When India witnessed its green revolution in the mid-1960s, food production multiplied and farmers got richer. But the gains would prove to be short-lived. High-yield seeds, heavily dependent on chemical fertilizers and pesticides, forced farmers to invest more and more money each year. Unseasonal rains and long periods of drought further exacerbated the misery of farming families.
The main causes for farmer suicides, one is that rising cost structures of agriculture, seed and fertilizer prices, particularly with the deregulation of those markets, are much higher. And at the same time, the prices, the higher prices that are expected from the markets are not always realizing. All of this leading to a squeeze in income for farmers and therefore leading to rising indebtedness.
Most farmers sell their produce at wholesale markets like this one. The government sets prices here, but they remain low. Consumers benefit, but farmers don't.
I can't sleep because we're not getting our full rate. We owe money to the landlord and the bank. Farmers wouldn't have to ask banks for loans if we got the proper pay rate for our crops.
Just last month, the government unveiled reforms it said would increase productivity and farm incomes. The reforms seek to loosen rules that have kept farmers protected from free markets for decades. This set off a maelstrom of protests by farmers. They accuse the government of making things worse for them by leaving them at the mercy of private players. The government insists their reforms will give farmers greater choice.
A few days ago, this country freed its farmers from a lot of constraints. Now farmers can sell their produce anywhere and to anyone.
Back in Punjab, Kiranjit Kaur, the activist fighting for the widows of suicide victims, is at the forefront of the protests.
I think if the central government had been sensitive towards farmers' issues, they wouldn't have behaved like dictators, bringing in these bills unilaterally. They're trying to give away our lands to corporations.
As these debates rage on, experts believe India needs to overhaul its farming practices. This farm close to Delhi provides an alternative sustainable model. After 10 years of conventional agriculture, Ujjal Dagar's family switched to organic farming.
This is pure organic rice. We got seeds from home, so we don't have to buy seeds from outside. If we had used chemical fertilizers, it would have cost us 170 euros per half hectare of land. But this is 100% organic, and we're saving all this money.
Only 3% of India's cultivable land is currently dedicated to organic production.
Our farmers are not educated. We need to give them proper training. The government is not investing in organic farming. Where government schemes exist, they don't reach farmers. That is the biggest challenge today.
India urgently needs to oversee a shift towards sustainable modes of production. Otherwise, the future of nearly 50% of India's workforce looks bleak.